That's a quick fast forward thing right there.
That was just like spazzing out. Hey,
What is up, everybody? We're back. We're back, guys. We're back. We're back.
I'm back.
We're back in these troubling times. Hectic, troubling times that are out there, man. Shit's real.
Shit's real.
I don't even know how to feel about it.
I know. That's what I was thinking too. Shit's getting kind of heavy. I didn't know how to feel about it either. But damn, so much shit is going on right now.
That's true. That's very true. Unfortunately, we are in the middle of I want to say civil unrest, I guess you can say.
The race war.
I mean, it's weird. It's
There's no race war going on.
it's
But
more,
there's a police and the people war going on right now.
Yeah.
And local businesses and, well, not just local businesses, but like Targets and Walmarts.
it's crazy, dude. There's a bunch of shit going on right now, and it's bad times. Like, everyone keeps saying that it's like, I haven't even changed the camera angle yet. It's like that weird shit where, goddamn, I'm going too fast. Just pushing all kinds of buttons. Where we were saying that it is on the police and stuff, but there are other police that aren't doing anything. Like, it's so hard. Like, what's going on right now? Like, obviously, there's police brutality and people treating black people bad, but I mean, oh, it's so bad all the time. Like, it's about time we start standing up and doing something.
Well,
but we're doing it in the wrong ways.
Really? Well, that's what somebody questioned. I was like, is there really a right way to protest? And I was like, I don't fucking know. I was like, sometimes shit doesn't work. We've been protesting for a long time. Remember when all those people got around for Donald Trump right before he was going to get elected? Or I think it was while he was already elected. I can't remember. But they had all them people in Chicago. And they like swarmed his building, the Trump Tower.
Yeah.
And just protested and still became president.
Bunch of crazy ass shit.
Sometimes, like, I feel protesting, you know, picket fence or picket signs and all that kind of stuff like that, making speeches in public places, getting everybody like together and shit like that. It's pretty dope. But I feel like sometimes does it really not do anything, man. That's why people like eventually just start fucking looting and rioting. Like, fuck, man, the LA riots was crazy.
And you know what's even worse is that it's not even the worst part is that, like, it's not even that bad in Albuquerque, but dude, everywhere else where this shit's going on, like,
all this like southern states,
dude,
and East Coast, West Coast, like the bigger cities, yeah, well, like you've heard about it.
Yeah.
Like, where did this? Oh, what was it? Minneapolis. That's where it happened.
Yeah,
it's crazy. R.I.P. But that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, see, and they then like we see in the videos that we watch, there's like people like spray painting and shit like that. Like, that's not protesting. That is not protesting.
I mean,
a business owner has to go out and clean that up after this is all over. Like, what?
Some
what
people went and cleaned it themselves. Like, I think I can't remember what town it was, but all the citizens, after a night of protesting, it turned into a riot. There are people that came and started cleaning up the neighborhood where they were like rioting at and shit like that. So some people have come together to help clean the messes and stuff like that, like regular civilians that don't own those businesses, just regular people, maybe people that were there that night, or just people that saw the devastation that was caused by all that shit. So they went and they cleaned it up, you know?
Yeah.
But fuck that shit. Like, yeah, you make a point. What does all this do? But at the end of the day, what does protesting outside a building of the police do? Like, what does peacefully protesting do? Like, a lot of shit doesn't change. Sometimes you have to get violent, and that's like the fucked up reality about it. It's like you can be peaceful as much as you can. You can march, you can do riot, you can do all this crazy shit, but does it ever make a change? That's why people, I think, get violent after a while. They realize, like, you know, if as much as I stand, as long, like, how long does it take of you just standing outside with signs and peacefully protesting against shit before things start getting physical on either end? Remember when all those native people and all those other people were, where was it, where they were trying to build that oil? They were trying to, like, fuck
oh, yeah,
up,
the pipeline.
The pipeline.
I can't remember exactly either.
The
but
North Dakota, was it North Dakota?
I think so.
That whole shit. So those motherfuckers went out there, protested, and got sprayed, tear gas, all types of shit, man. And a lot of them didn't really get violent because they couldn't. They were outnumbered by a lot of military shit. Well, not military shit. Was it military shit? I can't remember. But either way, they got fucked up after a while. And I don't know. Did they build the pipeline? I don't even know, man. I should have probably researched that shit. But I'm not 100% sure.
That's what they get. That's the hardest thing about being an average American, dude. Like, I'm just gonna make us seem dumb, but we're average Americans, dude. We don't
research a lot.
Yeah, we don't like. Our need for wanting to know about everything that's out there is so hard to follow as well. Like, literally, it's overwhelming. Like, I only can do so much. It's pretty hard.
I mean, yeah, if you worry about everything in reality, you can't fucking solve all the problems in the world yourself. Like, that's why it's important that everybody just sticks to what they believe in, really, if they can help the planet out or themselves out or a group of people in a certain way, because they have more of an understanding in a certain field of things than by now. Like, you find what you know, like, you know, when you're trying to discover yourself and you're like figuring out what things you're good at, what things you're not good at, what things you probably should improve on, things that you have a really good chance of improving and getting far with, the things that could help you out or benefit yourself or other people. So if everybody just plays their part and just, you know, that might be just good enough, but who knows?
Fabe, one up. Thank you for joining the chat. What is up?
Yo.
Hey, what up? Waco.
Taco.
That's what it says.
Okay.
That's what it says. That's what it says on there. It says that right there.
Waco Taco.
Anyways, fucking yeah, dude. I mean, it's
mango.
It's weird, dude. I don't even know what to think about it. Like, I come home and it's like been a long day. It's hard, and then something like this. Okay, this is another shit. Okay, this is another shit. Oh, dude, I'm already like everywhere right now. This kind of came out of nowhere.
That shit.
Okay, because
2020's been coming out of nowhere. All types of shit.
This is what's crazy. It's people. It's like people were building up this like weird, like being inside kind of thing, and then right when this hit, bam! Everyone just
outside.
went to go do some shit.
Opening up again.
It's so weird.
That's like, I want to go protest,
Jeremy.
but then
what's
I'm
up?
like, I might just be fucking out there in the shits, and just be like, catch some corona from a protester, you know?
Yeah,
Go
see,
home.
that's scary too.
Get my motherfucking family killed just because I just coughed that shit.
Yeah, so who's out there protesting? Is it mostly like younger kids? Mostly,
It's like, probably, I don't know. Probably a mix of everything. I mean, you know.
Are we bad Americans because we're not protesting?
I mean, honestly, I was asking. I know there's.
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
There's my brother's girlfriend and they family have one that they know they're going to. It's like an organized one, but I work tomorrow. And I would love to go fucking protest that shit. I would love to go somewhere where they're protesting and just join. But I gotta work and shit like that. Maybe. But they said every single state in America, all 50 states have had their own protest, whether big or small.
But but that's what's crazy now is that like they're forcing stuff to happen. Like now there's a curfew. Now they're closing businesses down early. Like
I think they were talking about Walmart closes at 5 now.
it does, and not only that, you know what they do? They barricade the doors.
Yeah.
They barricade the doors.
So they said that people were trying to fucking come and break into Walmarts.
That's what they do, folks.
Fuck yeah, they're trying to save their assets, their money. But then I heard they get paid out for that shit. Like Walmart gets paid out for the shit that gets stolen.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. And anyways, it's not, dude. It's cheaply made. I don't care what anybody says. Anything out there that Walmart has is cheaply made.
Yeah, that's why there's always that stigma about Walmart. It's just like no matter what you get from there, it's kind of some bunk shit, low key, but just enough to get you by.
Everything. You
Enough
could probably
to
buy
get-
the most expensive TV there, but even
TVs are different though, because they're not made by Walmart. It's not like Walmart buys shitty versions of like good TVs. You can go to fucking Walmart and buy a really good quality TV.
So they
just
have
probably-
manufacturers that send them TVs that are like, you can sell these.
Because they're cheaper made. Are they fucking flimsier?
Yeah.
Are you better off buying a TV like from a furniture store or electric store that specializes in that kind of shit?
I think the TV that we have should be the same price as we pay the workers that made them.
They made them, damn.
And that's like what? 20 cents?
20 cents? Are they made
$2?
Are they made in China? If we go to war with China, at least we'll make everything back. All the factory work will go back to America.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you said that. Okay. Have you seen the new Ozark?
No, I haven't watched any of that shit.
Okay, there's this one line that blows me away. It still blows me away. Don't let a good crisis go to waste.
Don't let a good crisis go to waste.
So right now,
that's what the looters were thinking. They're
right now, everybody
get me a free, bro. If I was somewhere, I'm not gonna lie. If I was by a Target and motherfuckers started breaking in that shit, I'd probably go in there and be like, I'm gonna get me some shit.
But think of that on a think of that on a global scale.
I heard other countries are protesting too, and that tripped me out. I don't know if I believe that one yet.
Imagine if like moves are being made right now that we can't even comprehend. Like China's doing this whole like, oh yeah,
a lot of shit going on.
I'm ready to attack, or I'm ready to take over the stock market, or I'm ready to like.
The First World War was started over the assassination of somebody.
Dude, I saw this.
The second one was invasion of the country. What if the Third World War is over some like what if George Floyd's death causes World War III somehow? Shit just starts getting popping, or just causes some civil war, some great civil war. I think a civil war would happen, right?
No. Because if a civil war happens, that means that other countries that don't like us have a better chance of attacking us.
Yeah, true. And then we'd have to come back together. It's like, all right, hold on, we're getting fucked up. Let's come back together,
See,
everybody.
but that's what's so weird. Like we were talking about first. We're all being divided and shit.
You think people would try to take? You don't think like Britain and certain places might have our backs? We'll have
allies. We have allies, obviously, but the enemies have allies too.
Yeah,
It's a lot of people.
If we went to war with Russia and China was on Russia's side, then it'd probably be a really fucked up war. We would have to hope that like some parts of
most of the world,
because those are two countries that have a lot of people
and a huge amount of land.
They have a big amount of land.
They can kill anything.
They have so many people in China. So they put so many people at the point they had Laos, but like only one. Now they changed that shit to 2, and it made me think. I'm like, you think they changed it to 2 because they're trying to they're getting ready for a war low key. They're like, oh shit, we about to low key start invading other countries, so we better like up our population.
They've made deals in other countries where they're like, hey, we'll finance your country and we'll make it look better, but you owe us later on.
Oh, didn't Africa do that shit with China?
Yeah, something in South Africa where they even like build their ports even better. They made sure that they're like they can get shipments and stuff way easier, but they're like, okay, now all of this stuff is you guys are in a debt for 100 years now.
So if we go to war, there might be some parts of Africa that we'd be getting like fighting with because their debt is owed to like China, and that's crazy.
Imagine if they're like, hey, we need you to fight. Well, you have to go to war for us.
We're kind of lucky that we're on this side of like the planet, but then Russia's kind of right next to us.
That's what they say, that strategically, the way that our country is placed on the world, we're actually a really good spot.
Yeah, because like South American countries aren't really on our level of shit yet. They might have numbers, but technologically, we probably outdo most countries in South America.
Fabe1 says NATO got weather weapons too. I've heard that before. Is it the one that you're talking about called HARP? Do you remember? Have you ever heard of that?
I think I remember them. I remember hearing about some like shit like that. I don't remember HARP, but
that's what it's called. I think that's the one it's called. It's like
that's some crazy shit. Because if you control the weather, that means that you don't got to worry about global warming. Because if they can change the weather, then let's make this motherfucker colder. Maybe that's why shit's happening, because they're fucking with weather that way, and it's throwing off the natural flow of nature, and that's why a bunch of shit might be happening, like, you know, with our weather too. Plus factories and carbon and all that other shit.
Yeah, see, because that's another thing that blows me away too, is that like China and those countries, they don't care about any of their emissions in the air. That's the only reason why that's why we let them build all that shit, because they're like, we don't care about all the toxins that are going in there.
Oh, it's fucked up. Yeah, see, like that's why countries like China and Japan, because they have a lot of heavy industrial shit going on in there, you see a lot of them with like gas masks because the air is fucked up. I even heard Cali too. Like in movies, you always see Cali with the clear blue sky, and then talking to people who came
smog,
yeah,
bro.
They're like, they said Cali don't ever look like that anymore. It's like polluted like fuck because of all the smog. And I'm like, that's crazy as fuck. I'm like, our planet's... And then when we went on that Corona shit and all those factories shut down, they said that our fucking levels of CO2 went down.
Yeah, dude, all kinds
by
of
a
shit.
grip, right?
Okay, not only that, I guess a bunch of turtles were able to lay eggs properly because there was not a bunch of humans on the beach.
Yeah.
That happened. A bunch of animals got to breed more. Like,
they should fucking do a quarantine like every other summer, maybe. Like, you know... Because it's good for the environment. I heard that the fucking canals in France, you know, the rivers and shit.
Cleaned up.
It's like all the dirt. Because they say when you have boats and people constantly moving through that shit, it's really picking up dirt from the bottom. Since it's like there's nobody going through that area, all the dirt finally settled down. So then you can see like it's a lot cleaner looking. It doesn't look as dirty as it normally does. And then even dolphins have been swimming through it because since there's not a lot of human activity in the water, they've been like, yo, what's going on?
That's dope.
And they've been swimming. So I'm like, that's kind of cool because it does show you how fucked up we are. Like we really do fuck up our environment. And then when we finally have to like check ourselves for a bit and chill out and be confined to our quarters and shit like that, our own homes, be quarantined, then other life can like, oh, yo, let me get in here now. I can get in here. That's like, well, I don't know. You got places that just have capacities, right? And if you have the same group of people always going there, but they never give the chance for other people to go. So when they stop taking, you know, when they take a little break from all that shit, then other things, like other people, right, can go and enjoy these things, just like animals, just like the planet. You have humans constantly moving, constantly doing shit in the oceans, in the land, everywhere around us where there's factories and shit like that. So when we finally take a break from all that shit for a couple of months and we let the earth kind of just rest and all the natural environments, they start doing shit. Like you said, turtles, I didn't know about turtles fucking couldn't lay eggs right because of all the shit we're doing. Now that we took a break, now these turtles are laying eggs properly. All this like animal life is thriving for a bit until we come back in full motion again. But if this thing has taught us anything, it's taught us that we should probably take a break every so often. We should let
nature rebuild itself.
Even though like it's really just done because we want to live longer. Because if this like there's a lot of animal life and things in this planet that keep us alive, that if they went extinct, that would endanger our way to like bees. Like bees are really important. Didn't know bees were that important.
Yeah, right. And then they say that
I'm all fucking bees, bro.
The hornet, dude. The hornet came.
The
to
murder
kill the
hornets.
bees.
Where the fuck did the murder? Have you ever heard of these? China just had these murder fucking hornets.
Yeah.
Can't even say the fucking word.
I used to watch this YouTube
Bat soup
channel.
and murder hornets. All the fucked up shit's coming. Maybe they really are making weapons out of natural things. Like China's just like, we invented murder hornets.
I can see that because like
imagine you're like a soldier, right? American soldier fighting against Chinese soldiers, and all of a sudden they just throw these like ginormous sacks of fucking murder hornets. They just swarm your whole platoon, and you're just like getting stung to death by these murder hornets. Like,
I don't know what's gonna happen, but I think China's really gonna ramp up the space race now.
Oh, bro! Now that we've done it, everybody else is gonna try to catch up, just like the space race back in the day when we were going against Russia. Yeah, and
back in the '60s.
All that shit. It's gonna happen again.
What about that though? Do you think that back in the '60s was that fake? Was that even real? Did that even happen?
That I mean, it's possible. People were really fucking gullible back in the day. People like now we have technology and things that like Photoshop that make us question all of the media that we get, all the information we get. We're constantly questioning things. That's why there's always conspiracy theories going around because we don't really know if we can believe everything that we hear. So when they had filmmakers back in the day that knew a lot of people were gullible as fuck because TV and filmmaking was still a new thing back in those times, right? I mean, it was getting better than what it was back in the day.
Yeah,
it was
like
still
black and white film and shit like that.
And they made a good point. Like, so you mean to tell me that like a camera dude got out of the space shuttle first, laid the camera down, so then the guy can take the first supposed step, even though somehow there was already a camera, like, right, recording the dude getting out of his spaceship? Like, how did that camera get there? Like, some motherfucker had to get out first. He wasn't the first motherfucker to step out then. There was a camera dude, unless he just opened the door and just chucked the camera with the tripod and he just perfectly landed where it needed to be. And he's like, cool.
We got this on record while it's still recorded.
The more I think about it, the more I believe that maybe it was made in a basement and maybe we just did it. So it seemed like to other countries that we already did it first.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we were first. Sorry, like you guys ain't here. And then when we actually finally were able to send somebody, just planted the foot, put the flag down quick. Maybe, who knows?
Because if I don't remember correctly, where they're going.
Where they're going? SpaceX?
Yeah.
Like what? Like it's only a handful of astronauts, right? It's not like 50, 70 people out in space, right? It's just like a small number of people. I haven't checked the videos out on SpaceX, but I've seen thumbnails.
2 astronauts on board departing from the space station and re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Upon splashdown just off of Florida's Atlantic coast, the crew will be picked up by sea. Okay, so they're just seeing if they can actually do that. They're seeing if they can actually launch it, come back, and be successful to be able to do it multiple times.
Okay.
And that's
with ease, because I'm sure back in the day
we have to pretty much just throw the space shuttle away. It goes into the air and it just explodes, or not explodes, but like just falls into the ocean and stuff like that. But this one, we're using it.
Reusable, it's recyclable.
Bringing it back, yeah.
It's like not just wasting material like that. Think about all the old space shuttles that would just break off into space and then just float off.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's a lot of shit wasted, man. That's why eventually, if humanity keeps going on and the technology gets better, we'll have to mine on other planets and resources. We'll have to have like.
That's what kind of blows me away too. What if we find elements that don't even exist?
We will
on the fucking periodic table.
If we go to different planets, bro, the universe is infinite. It fucks me up. Fucks me up. How like that's why sometimes I think we are in a simulation, because what the fuck is outside a universe? You know, how far out can you go? Like I heard that there's multiple. Like the darkness of space is only a portion. I heard that there's like different
pockets of it, like like universe 1,
like for the most part we're in the dark part of a universe, of a galaxy, but if you were able to go further enough, you would get outside of a dark area of space and be in this weird different like area, maybe a different dimension, or maybe just we haven't been able to get that far yet because our part is so massive itself that it would take like a space like shuttle, like wouldn't happen unless we had some type of hyper speed.
Yeah, we have to develop light speed.
Light speed,
people. Not even the sound of speed. The sound of speed is fast enough. We need to discover light speed.
So there's a lot of shit, man. So all this space shit that's happening now, we know more about space, they said, in our ocean. That's what I'm kind of curious about too, is ocean. That's a whole different discussion. But like, fuck, bro, we don't know.
We technically don't know anything.
Yeah.
But yet we're here on Earth,
and now they have aliens
fucking shit up,
exposing shit too. They're trying to distract us with other shit, confirming that UFOs are real. But then it's just an unidentified flying object, and it could be anything that is man-made that just isn't registered in some kind of database. That like I've never seen that before.
Some people were saying like, what if it's just China fucking with us? Like they have something we don't have.
There could be other countries right now that low key have. Like you know how Black Panther had Wakanda?
Yeah. And
you had like this civilization that was secretive about how advanced they actually were, and they hid it from the rest of the world. So they could be countries where they're actually like, they may seem poor or primitive, but they really got some shit. Or maybe just regular countries. Like I heard China's technology is pretty out there too. I heard that they have low key shit there.
I feel like every country has something that another country doesn't know about it.
Every rich ass country, like Russia, America, China, like Africa, like certain countries, they probably have some low key shit happening,
badass, yeah,
like technology wise,
that nobody else has.
Like I wonder if any country has like a Tony Stark,
Iron Man suit, even like a cute,
not even just Iron Man, just a dude that's smart. Like imagine if we had a Tony Stark genius on this planet, like a motherfucker that was that smart.
Oh yeah, his name's Elon Musk.
But like he's
inventing neural links, dude.
Okay, that's wild as fuck.
A fucking microchip in your brain.
That's some wild shit. But he's no fucking Tony Stark. Like I know it's fiction, but imagine having some like Elon Musk is pretty smart. Don't get me wrong, and he's making some crazy shit. But
a tunnel system under Los Angeles.
Yeah, I heard about that. It make traffic his weird ass Tesla cars. Like the really weird ones, like the truck.
Just fucking go down and all of a sudden just zip through fucking space, like literally going fast as hell.
That'd be crazy. Wait till we have like air traffic where there's so many people that have flying vehicles.
So I like that analogy where you're just like, we don't have a Tony Stark, or there isn't really one.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you think about it,
There might be.
is the closest one. I love how Fave1 says it. Elon Musk is our closest to having a Tony Stark.
That's what the closest to what we know that's publicly known. But who knows? There might, in some country, you might have some motherfuckers that are on some like Tony Stark levels, but they have them low underground.
Low key.
Okay, but I feel if any country had a Tony Stark, then that country would be the fucking. Because if you had a motherfucker that could really make some advanced weapon shit like that, bro, like that advanced, make a crazy energy source like he did with the whole fucking centerpiece, the reactors, and then made a miniature version, and then made a new element. Like if we had a genius like that here, it'd be wild.
That's what I always get like crazy about is like, what if this stuff is already invented, but they don't have a way to present it to us? So they show us in like comic books and movies and shit like that.
Maybe that might be one way. They say that's the theory. They say they condition us that way because they want us to see if
how we react to it. And then when it does happen, it's not as crazy.
A movie's a movie. Yeah, I guess it might dumb it down for us a little bit, or it might like take out the.
I honestly think that a lot about aliens. Like they shown us so many different aliens, so that when we see one, we will be like, oh yeah, it looks like the alien from blah blah blah. It'll never be something.
I've seen a lot of alien movies.
A lot, dude. There's like, a lot of aliens.
There's a lot of fucked up aliens. Like I rarely see movies about good aliens unless it's just like some dumb kid movie that's just.
Think of like Star Wars, dude. Look at how many
Star
aliens
Wars
are in
that's
there.
like that's like all these colonies and planets that have already evolved to a point or have just been aware of like interstellar traveling, and then they have the Force. And it's like fantasy shit, but like if you had a real life, like if we colonized a bunch of planets, or if we finally had the like good enough space technology to go in a hyperspace to travel or clear a lot of space land in a short amount of time because of the technology, and we discover all these advanced colonies of like other planets, that shit would be crazy. That shit would be crazy. What if we get involved with some shit we can't handle or we can't like fight against? What if we come across some? We're really infants. If there really is some shit like Star Wars where there's just other planets and colonies that have already known of each other's existence, their technology only allows them to go back and forth between all these different galaxies and planets with minimal time, and now you can go anywhere. But we're still like, if like, you know how there's Amish communities or there's like underdeveloped colonies still, like the island that had all those indigenous people.
Yeah,
they're still like in primal instinct kind of mode, like. To apply it into a greater society of like different things, like planets and people, we might be the Amish or the primitive. Like, oh look, they're not advanced enough. Like that's a theory.
Yeah, we've never really went to go.
Because if there's aliens, I heard that fucking there's pilots that see UFOs all the time, but they're told to keep quiet about that shit, to not talk about it, to dismiss it. If you could look up some shit that talks about all these like. Pilots that have seen UFOs have seen all these spaceships, and I'm just like, whoa.
Mr. Monster, what's up? He's like, oh shit, I'm watching.
That shit fucks me up. I'm like, oh man, we might just be some fucking low level bitch to some crazy other fucking advanced colony of intellectual beings. It might not even be human like you said, how Star Wars and other shows have all these weird looking like alien species, but they're intelligent like humans and they can build shit and might be even smarter or physically stronger than humans.
Because you know it's crazy too, there's that thing where they talk about, I love how South Park made fun of it, where they got like, it's just aliens watching us on TV.
Oh yeah,
Earth, we're just a giant reality TV show to them.
We do that shit to animals here. We record animals in the nature in their own environments and habitats. I wouldn't see why, if there was a greater species of like intelligent beings out there, why they wouldn't have us on the same scale if we're like below them technologically and maybe even mentally.
Fake account said, I think aliens would conquer underwater first, maybe down.
That's
there
crazy.
Now. So they're like already there and they mingle and they already know shit that we don't know.
They already know everything about our oceans that we don't know, because they say that we don't know everything about our oceans, and that blows my mind because we live here and the ocean's here, and space is such a bigger vacuum of just like void of darkness and unknown. But the ocean, but we know more about it somehow, or we think we know more about it.
Dude, no, we don't know shit.
I don't think we really know shit. Yeah, we know it. Like, I think it's crazy where scientists come,
because there's even those like
with technology that measures things is itself is genius. But I don't think we really know as much as we think.
There's so much down there, dude. Imagine finding like one of those air pockets. You're just like go down and then all of a sudden go up, and it's like
fucking Atlantis.
It's this weird ass. Oh, I can't even imagine. Mole people? Like the crab people?
Crab people. Damn,
there's so... I love how they make fun of it, but we just don't know.
We don't know.
We would never know.
You know, they say space is fake, but I'm like, I don't know about that one.
Dudes, people still believe the fucking Earth is flat.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what is wrong with you?
A lot of us believe that we're in a simulation, so who knows? Like, if we're really in a simulation, anything can be possible. Then what really is outside of a simulation? They say that this is a test. Like, you know, religions believe that being on this planet is like your test to see who you really are, to test your soul, to see
what's the next thing.
What's the next thing? Or if you're even worthy of the next thing. Earth might just be a test, and that'd be crazy. That could explain a lot. Because simulation could almost be like a religion. How you talk about religions talk about having an afterlife after you die here. Maybe they're talking about an actual simulation, but every like colony interprets things differently. Yeah. You ever see things in shows where like somebody is a god by some weird chance? Like perfect example in Star Wars. Remember how C3 and the original trilogy, I think it was like Return of the Jedi, all those little fucking
the Ewoks.
The Ewoks looked at C3PO as a god. They thought he was like a god or some kind of prophet, but they didn't really know like anything
about what's going on.
They knew a little bit, but not as much as they thought they did. They thought that C3PO was their god. So maybe, I was gonna go with this. Maybe we're just like that to something else. Like, you know, we think like religion makes you believe that it's different. Like, it makes you believe in spirit realms and all that shit. Or what if really it is just a simulation? It's not spirits. It's just computers. It's just engineers outside of a computer. That's what's controlling our fate. The people outside, like sometimes people think we're just really a simulation, like you said, and we're just living out an already pre-scripted life, or maybe we're really arguing some kind of freedom to see what we choose. Like, we're like a social experiment to something greater. That shit's wild as fuck.
Yeah, because I love how Rick and Morty like always throws out those different ideas too, like the multi-universe, or like there's just a bunch of aliens out there, and any moment they can do something if they wanted to. Like, you see it where it's just like, oh, we're here to take over the Galactic Federation, and they just take over Earth right away, or it's just a bunch of weird...
With ease. No trouble, just all easy, because we're that shit to them.
Fabe1, thank you for joining. He says he's crashing out, but thank you for listening. I know this is a late podcast, but we're here chilling.
Sleepy ass motherfucker.
Is that, what's his name?
Yeah, I think... Who, Fabian? Yeah, I know who that is.
You do? You know Fabe1?
Probably be the next dude you should get on here.
Fabe1 up. Hit me up on somewhere on social media. We'll get you on the podcast if you want to be on there. We live in the Matrix, Mr. Monster says. Not really, laugh out loud.
Would that, if you could choose to have something be a truth, like if you could decide, I want Christianity to be the real thing, or I want Buddhism to be the real thing. If you could pick a religion or a belief, what would you personally pick yourself? Would you rather... Like me, sometimes I wish there is an afterlife. I wish there was an afterlife where everybody who died, you get to see them again. Like all your family and past loved ones who passed away, you get a place to actually see them and see them again. And that's actually them. It's not just something made up for you. It's really consciously them. That's what I would want to believe in, but like, what would you want to believe? Would you want to believe that we're in a matrix? Would you want to believe that we were going to get reincarnated? Would you want to believe in Christianity? What religion or belief would you want to be the actual existence?
I think reincarnation is probably the more suitable, feelable one. But again, I think we've talked about this before, not reincarnation into specific or different animals or anything like that.
Or anything that's living.
But it's always going to be the reincarnation of another human. Like, remember I was saying, right before you die you see the light, and then right before you're born they say you see the light. So what if that's just the transition of consciousness or your spirit
to another one?
To another one where you just don't remember and you have to relive your life again. I've always believed and loved that fantasy, because I know that maybe it can just happen again. Even though I don't remember or will remember, it could just happen again.
That's crazy. See, the reincarnation thing is a wild one, because is it reincarnation where you go forward, or is it reincarnation
Only forward. Never go back.
never go back?
Never
it's not
go
like
back.
there's I think that the A theory. I don't know if there's the theory, but there's a theory that reincarnation is like that you will literally live every life of every person that's ever existed in Earth or in that area, and once you do, then you'll become the god to your own universe. Supposedly, there's that theory. I think that's how it was. I might have said it fucked up, but I don't think I'd want that one. Because then you would have to live the life of somebody that got tortured, killed, or fucking some brutal acts. Imagine having to live as every person that's ever lived on this planet. Doesn't matter the time period. Like, you'll just go to different time periods. It'd be, like, random as fuck.
If it was random as fuck, that would kind of suck.
Like, what movie was it? I think The Platform. Like, The Platform, every month they switch the person that's in there, the two people, to a different level. And it's always random. It doesn't go, like...
Spoiler alerts.
Or it's like shit you learn in the beginning. You learn that shit at the beginning. It's not really spoiling anything, but... That's how it works, and it matter. Like, if that's how reincarnation works, and maybe if you randomly, that would suck. I wouldn't want that. If reincarnation going forward, I think I'd rather have that one, because at least if you're going forward, you know that I'm young here and I'm seeing things, but I'm gonna die and then be reborn into a newer generation that'll get to enjoy this generation's like shit. That would be cool. I think that would be kind of cool if that was the real thing, but then it would suck because I'm really close to everybody in this life. And I feel like I've been given a decent hand in life. So what if I get reincarnated forward and then I'm just some fucking unlucky bastard in the future? Like, in my new life just sucks. Like, I lived a really good one in the past, but now this one is going to be the one that just I take a L in. Like, oh, this reincarnation, this rebirth, you're going to kind of have a shitty life and go through some shit with no payoff or no...
I think, though, the only way that would ever happen is that you never remember the last one. So you can never really say it was
have shit to compare it.
Yeah, you'll never be able to be.
Maybe my previous lives were way better than this one is. I just feel like this one's the best one because I don't know.
It's the only one you know.
It's the only one I know. You're right, man. It's the only one I fucking know. So maybe I've had better lives in the previous. That I would probably be like, you know what? I think I'd rather live as this person instead.
And that's not a bad kind of aspect to think of. Yeah. Like, you know, you could always be better. And that's kind of what you should live for. If every day you try to be better than you were yesterday, you are a little more successful for the future.
True. Until you get to the age where it just doesn't matter anymore. Get to the age where, like, all that shit doesn't mean anything. You're old as fuck now. You're just waiting to die at this point. When you're young and you're becoming a person and you're going to your prime, when you're going to maybe fatherhood or going into a career, going to something, you know, you can go as far as you can, but after a while, certain things just don't matter. Like, you take care of yourself now, right? So you can live to be long, to like
hell yeah,
live
dude.
Longer, right?
I'm gonna be fucking 102.
But once you get to like a certain age, bro,
102,
and you're already like you're barely hanging on, you're not even getting into joy shit. Then what's the point? Like, there's gonna be a point where it just really doesn't matter, and it's like one of those fucked up things. So that's why if I could choose, I don't know, man. I feel like I'd want to have an afterlife, but not it be like Christianity, where there's a hell and there's a heaven. I feel like it'd be cool if you could just go somewhere and see everybody. But then it would be the point. Some of it just sounds really far-fetched. I'm like, I don't know. Reincarnation makes more sense in some way. Like, if there is afterlife, it's not an afterlife, it's just the life after the previous one. Like, it's not a heaven. You're just being reborn again. You're like, oh, now you're going, you might be, you're brown and Mexican this time, speaking Spanish. You might be a fucking white boy in the next life.
Just a different one.
You might be Indian, you might be African, you might be Chinese, you might be Russian, you might be whatever the fuck you are when you're born into the next one.
Again, though, I still think it's only a future thing. Like, you'll never go into the past.
You'll never go into the past.
Because they even say, too, like, the birth rate and the death rate are, like, kind of similar. They kind of match each other.
I'm like, I wonder if that's really true.
It blows me away.
Because if that was true, and then that would support, like, okay. But there's always an increase of people in population.
Death rate.
I don't think it's similar.
No, it's always similar, dude. Every time. No, actually, it's about half. So people are born faster than people who die. People that are born today, people that are born today are 300,000.
Yeah.
People that died are only 100,000, but it's about half. It's kind of coincidence.
That's a fucking. Wait, that's Corona world population. Girl births this year, births today, deaths this year, deaths today. Yeah, the numbers are different, but so maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Or maybe when you die, you're not instantly reborn. Or maybe it's like, oh, you die. Your respawn time is going to be a couple of years. Maybe. Who knows?
Or take a number.
Right? Like, you're fucking, okay, you died. It's going to be a while. You got to let other people who are in line first before you. Just got to make it fair.
Jeez, these are ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying, man. Shit's crazy.
34 billion. Right? That's 34 million. Were born this year, people.
I'd say 34. That'd be fuck.
I know, right? That'd be
we'd be definitely fucked if that many people were being born.
There's not enough people here.
That's another theory, man. That's another one. That's a whole nother conversation right there to talk about. If is there enough shit for everybody to live here?
I think so. I think there's enough resources for everybody in the world.
Everybody in the world. That shit's crazy.
Thank you, Mr. Monster. I appreciate that. Says it's like watching the Joe Rogan podcast.
That shit blows my fucking mind, man.
How does it though? Like,
because think about everybody who might want certain things like property, houses, their own places built, and the numbers of people keep increasing, right? Maybe
water, build over water.
Water would be a big one. That one would be one of those resources that are kind of like finite. Like, what is it? Like not an infinite, but a finite amount. If we don't take care of like our nature, because I think trees and all that shit help rain, so they give us water.
Yeah.
But if everything's fucking polluted in the sky, then we're just getting this shit water. Like, who knows?
Well, we kind of learned, I guess, how to like purify shit, but to an extent,
there's more water. There's more ocean water than anything else.
2% fresh water, maybe less now.
Maybe less now. If people keep just and think of all the shit that takes fresh water, toilets. Showers, like shit that's unnecessary. Well, not necessary. It's necessary, but
2.5% people, 2.5% of fresh water.
We haven't found like toilets are like one of those big things. Like we use a lot of water for toilets, and they say that they filter out our shit water or piss water.
This is my theory. I honestly think all the water that we drink or use has been at least recycled at least once. There's no such thing as actual fresh water.
Right. I think that too. I believe it. I believe it could be shit, piss water that just got cycled and cleaned out and made good enough for us to drink it again. And if it works,
hard to find spring water.
If it works, then fuck it, man. If it works and it's good, fuck it, man. Because anything that we can do to save resources. But then we're just trying to save our own asses. At the end of the day, we were only a small percentage of the life on this earth that's ever exists on this earth.
Yeah, the time span, yeah.
Yeah, because everything that's ever been on this planet that's living, like, a lot of it's gone. And we're just a small fraction of things that existed on the planet. Right? And now, because we're smart and we have all this, we're trying to stretch that time out. We're trying to live as long as we can. We're trying to go to other planets. We're trying to find different places to go now. Because there's so much, like, people here. They might just have so many motherfucking kids, man. The planet's going to eventually, maybe it might actually get full again. It'll get full and it'll be at capacity, and then nobody can fucking really live here without everybody having to take a shortage in some sense, or us running out of resources. Like water is one of those things that we definitely need. We definitely need water.
Well, we need fresh water.
We need fresh water. We need drinkable water for us to live.
Because I've heard a joke where it's just like, we don't have a water problem, we have a salt problem.
Yeah, because there's water. Even salt, if you get salt water on like your plants and vegetation on the dirt and the soil that's where you want to plant, then you can't grow anything there because the salt fucks it up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? You could go to somebody's garden and just throw a bunch of salt water all over that bitch and just completely fuck the soil up, and now nothing can grow there. Like vegetation can't grow there and shit.
It just doesn't do anything. It's weird.
Like, what? That's wild as fuck. So the ocean water, the ocean dirt, I don't think we would want to get dirt from the bottom of the ocean. Start digging into the ocean's bottoms. That's crazy shit. But, man.
Salt water, we have a salt water problem.
But they still find ways to filter that shit out and make it into fresh, non-salt water. The technology is just...
I don't think they have the best kind
Probably, yeah. It's probably in its infancy.
Yeah. But then again, we can be using the oceans and stuff like that for other resources. Have you ever heard of tidal power?
Yeah.
where they like put turbines at like coastal lines, and every time the wave comes in, it makes them turn.
And it generates electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah, we use our natural like land. We have dams and shit like that.
What are we doing?
But some of it might affect we're
gonna kill some turtles.
Turtles, or maybe like fuck up. It's crazy how like our reefs, right, used to be so colorful.
Yeah.
And because of all the chemicals that we dumped, they've been losing its color and its coloredness and its gleaming of light. Like a lot of coral reefs now are just like plain shitty looking. And I'm like, that's crazy as fuck. We're just fucking up our planet. That's what it is, man. Sometimes I think, right, life, like the planet produces its life and it sees how it's going to do. And maybe eventually realizes that, oh, this fucking life is just going to do more damage than good. I got to wipe it out. Start over again. Virus or whatever cause like natural disasters that just wipe out humanity.
Yeah, because I think everyone is really scared about all of the shit that's happening on Earth, like right now, like the viruses, the riots, and everything.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of other problems that we
have
don't even know about.
That are going like they're not being put out there in media like as much.
Dude, there's like asteroids and stuff that always fling by us all the time. Like,
right.
Dude, there's so much stuff that we can be like. We shouldn't be fighting about shit like this.
We're dumb. We're really fighting about, but we have to get like, we have to go through it, I guess, to get forward. Like, we had to have this period of shitty things going on for us to learn from it. So we can move forward, maybe, right? We shouldn't be like that, but it kind of unfortunately
Yeah, because it feels like this is going to be one of those times in history where we're just like, yeah, remember that shit back in 2020?
Like, the guys were stupid back in the day.
Damn fucking infants over there. Don't even know what life is now. And, like, it's totally, like, the Elon Musk thing with the chip. He says that we're never going to be able to talk to each other. We can just talk to our brains.
And then our brains will be like, that's kind of like...
That's amazing.
Well, I guess, like, that's amazing, but that sounds like it's taken... Like
amazing.
I don't know.
Amazing.
I would be scared to be telepathically connected to somebody.
Because
what if I think about some shit? What if it's like, right? There's a way for you to say some shit and the other person in your head. But what if like you're thinking about some shit you wouldn't want them to hear and then they can accidentally hear it? Like,
that's not me, dog. I want everybody to hear everything I have in my head all the time.
Bro, if they did, they would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? That's why your mind and your mouth... Like, you have control to think about some shit in your head, but not say it. Imagine if, like, nothing was left like, you ever just... What if you had some random fucking scenario in your head?
That's how real celebrities are going to be made now.
That's wild as fuck,
Real
bro.
celebrities are going to be made.
That's some wild shit.
You think that's all crazy when a YouTube star goes out and does something crazy? Well, wait until you see what they think about.
That's fucked up because I feel like that's the space that should not be tapped. Like, people shouldn't know everything you're thinking about because we always like the reality of the way we think and just the reality of our thinking. And sometimes we think about some wild out there shit. Some people maybe more than others.
But how many times have you thought about like, God, I wonder what that person's thinking, or geez, I wonder what they are thinking right now?
Certain scenarios, like if I'm like hooking up with a chick or I'm hanging out with the chick I'm trying to hook up with, I'm like wondering if she's like, yo, is this girl interested in me
and
right
we're
now?
back to sex.
Low key wanna, yeah, I know, right? The whole episode, low key, gotta bring it up once in this bitch. But like I said, you'll have things where maybe you're making a deal, or you're buying some shit. You're making a deal with somebody. You're curious to what they are thinking. Like if you're buying something from somebody, you're like, I wonder if this motherfucker is really ripping me off, and you wonder
Craigslist deal or something.
Like you know, it would be wild. It'd be a wild idea to know everything that somebody's thinking. But then there might be parts of our brain that are thinking about shit that we don't even know we're thinking about, like the subconscious. Like how our subconscious is just like low key doing its own thing.
I could see that.
And then we're kind of like running off of it, but we don't know it subliminally. It's like how subliminal messaging works in movies, theaters. Like previews, like we'll be showing a preview to a movie, and all of a sudden there's like one picture frame in it that's like a burger or some popcorn or some soda or a hot dog, and all of a sudden, but only fast enough for your brain to catch it, but not fast enough for you to like see it yourself and be like, hey, wait a second, did I just see a fucking hot dog? But in your head, you might be like, man, I'm hungry. You know what sounds good? A fucking hot dog.
Yeah, you're already thinking about food and shit.
Yeah, because when I go to the movies, I'm motherfucking hungry, man. For some reason, even if I just went to the movies, after a while, I'm like, man, I want some popcorn and a soda.
I could use some popcorn right now.
Maybe a fucking hot dog. Overpriced $7, $5 hot dog. I'm like, man, I could have got two of these bitches for $2 at the gas station. movie theaters be taxing you for all that junk food that's really cheap.
But technically, the movie theaters are done now.
They say that, but we'll see. People want to go see movies, though. Think about it. People want to go. People want to, right? Because a movie theater hasn't had people going to it, so that's gonna fuck its business up, of course, right?
Okay. Did you hear what happened with Universal Studios?
No.
Okay, so there's this movie that came out called Trolls World Tour.
Yeah.
Did you hear about this?
Yeah. Well, I've heard about that movie, but
okay, here we go. It's a Universal movie, all right? Universal Studios made it. The coronavirus hit, and the movie it was about to come out, but so they couldn't play it at any movie theaters. So you know what they did? They're like, fuck the movie theaters. We're going to go and straight sell it to the streaming service.
Oh, shit.
Right away. They made so much money.
More? Damn, for real?
So not only that, movie theaters are now going to ban Universal Studio movies because they did that deal.
And they were mad about it?
Yeah, they're like, well, I can't believe you did that to us.
That's
not only
wild
that,
as fuck.
It's doubled in sales, dude. They did the same thing now with the Scooby-Doo movie.
I heard that new Scooby-Doo movie was trash.
But they did it. And they made money.
It's the future. I'm telling you, man, like, it is.
No more theaters, dog.
But then people like theaters.
Who? Do you want to go sit by somebody that you paid $30 for that's looking at their phone?
Well, I mean, I don't really get that experience most at the movie anyways. Like,
it happens.
It happens, but not enough. I'm usually the motherfucker on my phone, but I have the lights down.
Jeez.
But certain movies I want to see. Certain movies, right, I want to see in the theater. Like when that war movie 1917 came out, I wanted to see that bitch in the theater. And I seen it like 4 times in the movie theater. I like that movie that much. But there's certain movies that I want to watch on a big fucking ginormous screen with loud ass systems and a concession stand with some tasty ass popcorn or snacks to get on, right?
Okay.
I've honestly gone to the movies and snuck in like burgers from places and food because they don't check your backpacks, which is kind of funny because you figure like they might after all those shootings that happen in movie theaters.
Okay, so what happens when the price of the movie theater goes up? So you're paying like $30 just for a ticket, and not even the concession yet, not even anything, not even to enjoy anything of the movie theater.
Well, no, because movie theaters, I heard they make their money not from the movies themselves, but the concession stand shit, the things that people pay for, like popcorn. That's why it's so expensive.
And they do make the money, but not on the first week. The first week technically goes to most of the actual studios.
The studios that made the movie because they're trying to it's like drugs. It's like when you buy drugs and you're trying to get back a little bit more than what you spent on it. And when people make movies, they want to get more money back than they spent on making the movie.
Yeah. So then after a few weeks, it's like, oh, it didn't sell. You can keep more of the profit then.
Damn. Because it's like we're not really going to getting shit from it anyways.
Yeah. So that's why movie theaters rely on those people coming, oh, I can't see it this week, but I'll go see it next week. Oh, I'll go see it 4 times.
4 times, man. I did. I fucking seen certain movies I gone multiple times to see in theaters because it was dope. I like certain movies are dope, bro. Like, yeah, it's nice to have like your TV screen and your home surround system, but there's nothing that like it to feel like certain movies. Like when I went to go see Infinity War and then Endgame, that shit I definitely had to see in theater because the level of awesomeness and effects in that movie is like way better enjoyed on a big screen when it's loud as fuck. It's like when you're listening to music, would you want to listen to your music on a shitty little stereo that doesn't even like display its full sound right? Like, you know, when you listen to like a song on your phone, but you can't really hear the bass or you can't feel the fucking like thump from the bass because you're listening it off your phone compared to when you have a surround or like a system in your car that just like knocks on your shit like boom. Like, there's a difference, a level of enjoyment for certain things. Like movies, like certain movies I want to see on a big screen. I want to see in the movie theater. I want to see that shit. Even if I'm sitting next to somebody I wouldn't want to sit next to, I still want to see the movie. I want to see you on a big screen. And then there's movies, of course, that I fucking straight wait till them shits is on Netflix. I'm like, nah, I'm good on that shit. I'll wait till that shit.
Straight to DVD.
I'll wait till that shit hits either DVD or not. DVDs are basically obsolete now. They're still hanging in there. Blu-ray has taken over and then streaming. So
yeah,
at this point, people probably would rather stream because there's no need to take physical care of things. Some people. So like, this is what's nice about streaming services, that you don't have to worry about physical copies of shit, like if you want to. But then they don't always have the fucking shit that you want to watch. So sometimes you do have to look somewhere else, or you have to buy a physical copy of a certain movie. But now
it's almost all out there in digital.
It's almost all digital because places like, you figure Hastings, that place went out of business. You figure like, man, how did Hastings go out of business? They had this shit. They had all these movies on physical copies, all these video games, books, posters, all this shit, but still went out of business.
And then it's not only because of the movie thing, the streaming, but people buy a lot of their shit online now.
Amazon just is taking over that shit. Google was like, or was it Google? Not Google. eBay. eBay was like the shit for a while.
Yeah.
But even eBay is kind of like weird.
Yeah.
Because you had to bet, say somebody's selling something and it's worth a lot of value. But because it's worth a lot of value and he knows that, he does not going to sell it to the first motherfucker who wants to buy it. He's going to see if he can auction it off and get more money off of it because people are willing to pay a high price for certain items.
More of it, yeah.
So movies and shit like that, that's crazy. Streaming service, digital services like that, they'll give it what you want but cheaper.
Taking over, man.
But sometimes I want to go out when I want something right.
No, you don't.
I want to get it right away. Like when I want to see a certain movie,
then that's what the microchip is for.
The microchip.
Yeah.
Now you can see movies in the microchip. Fucking shit. Fuck that microchip, man. That shit sketches me out, man. But I guess
it sounds even better and better to even
generation, like the newer generation would accept it more easily because if you're born into something like that, then it's easier to adapt to it.
Fucking want it right now.
Like that would be messy, bro. It's gonna be messy. It's gonna be like, yeah, Elon Musk is a genius, but it's the infancy of some new technology. Think of all the trial and error that's gonna happen with a lot of shit. Like, even if we had a Tony Stark in this world, he would still have to go through trial and error through some of the shit that he's like experimenting on, through or whoever the fuck it is. You always go through this trial period, this error trial. So that kind of advanced technology, Neuralink, there's going to be a lot of fucking trial and error at first. We're not going to be the generation that gets to really enjoy it the way we might. Maybe if we're still alive 30, 40, 50 years from now and technology just gets way better in that period of time to the point where it's already like a normal thing. You can go buy a Walmart. Once Walmart has it, it's been made mainstream. Yeah. Once you can buy Neuralinks at Walmart, it's over.
I think that's going to be the future, though. I honestly can't wait for it.
We might get to experience it. It might be a long time. We might die.
I think it's more likely to happen within 10 to 15 years than 50 years.
Yeah, probably. They say this shit gets way better.
Because especially when technology starts advancing, what happens is that technology advances itself 2 times faster. If you remember, back 10 years ago, there was no really such thing as like 2 terabyte hard drives and shit. Well, kind of, but not like in the capacity that they are now. Like now,
computers used to be whole buildings.
Yeah, now they're super thin. You can get a badass terabyte, you got a like nothing.
Right fucking here, man.
Yeah, exactly.
This shit right here.
But like, it happened like super fast. Like once we got the cell phone and once we started technology, then the time span of it grew in half. Then we doubled. Oh shit! Then from there we doubled, and then we keep doubling how fast we come up with shit.
That is true. They say that's kind of like what's going on, and I believe it because think about the world, the Great Wars, like the First World War compared to the Second World War, and then Vietnam, and then Desert Storm, and then Iraq, and all the shit we're going through now. Like it's been a short period of time within just the 1900s shit, like from the beginning of the 1900s to the beginning of 2000s. In those 100 years, we've advanced a lot. We've come through with a lot of shit. Like,
I like Joe Rogan's joke too, where it's just like, even from the beginning, like of like the Civil War and shit, that's only 3 people ago. Like if they lived as long as they can, like 80 years and another 80 years and another 80 years, then the Civil War happened. So it's only like
3 generations deep, basically.
Yeah, it's not super far in. I think that's what it was.
Like my pops, his pops, and his pops are my great-great-grandpa. Like,
yeah.
Is that how far back it could be? When did the Civil War happen? I'm a little rusty on that one.
In the 1800s?
The 1800s?
Civil War.
How far back? I guess.
1861 to 1865. The American Civil War.
Whoa. So, I guess that wasn't that long ago. Yeah, if you were 80, if you can go back 80 years.
Because that's
average lifespan, right?
Because my great-grandma was born in 1912. And that's just my great-grandma.
Whoa. 1912. Well, I'm not old enough to go see the Civil War because it's already past that shit. But to hear stories about it through somebody else, right? Like your great-grandma had a grandpa who might have had a great-grandpa that was able to tell the stories of the Civil War and shit before that. They got passed down. It was still kind of fresh because that generation and like the neighboring generation, like we can hear stories about our grandparents, right? We can hear stories about our parents, and then we can hear stories about our parents, like our grandparents. And if our grandparents are coherent enough, then we can hear shit about their fucking parents. But do they remember shit about their parents' parents? Like, how far back can they really go?
I think it only goes like 2 generations at that point.
Because, like, right now, all I really know about is I know a little bit of my fucking, like, my mom and, like, the previous, the parents of all the cousins, like, their little stories. And I know a little bit about my grandparents and their youth and their stories. Because we're still young, technically. And once we get to, like, 70 years old and shit like that, where, like, our kids already have kids, and our kids are already kind of old, and they're starting to get older, and their kids are already, like, adults, young adults and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so far back that they can go with us, with stories and shit like that before it's just, like, kind of lost in shit like, old age. Like, you can only hear, like I said, shit back to a certain point before it starts getting fuzzy, because everybody who got old kind of like lost it towards the end, and then the new generations were more focused on their times.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, you don't think too much about, like, you think you know more shit about your parents, right, their youth, but you don't know a lot about your fucking grandparents' youth when they were like your age now. You know a little bit, but not as much as you will probably know from your parents.
Yeah.
Because most of our parents lived through the 60s, 70s, and 80s when they were like our age, and then they became like what we know them now, 40, 50, 60-year older. But, like, it's crazy, right? It's crazy shit, man. That's why I'm interested in that whole ancestry thing. But then I heard that shit is kind of like on some bullshit too.
Have you ever checked it out?
I haven't done it, but I've heard people tell me that they've done it, and they told me that they found out that they were this and that. I'm like, that's kind of cool, but how far can you really go with that shit? That's one of those things I'm like, I'm kind of questioning that shit. Like, how does that shit work?
Samoan
shit. Like, it's like Assassin's Creed shit. You can just, like, use your blood, and it's just like your brain is an infinite. DNA is just like an infinite library of previous lives that you lived. Like, that's another. Maybe Neuralinks will be able to tap into that shit.
That'd be dope, yeah. That'd
probably
be
why you want Neuralinks, so you can do some Assassin's Creed shit, go into an animus like the Matrix. That's the next level of the Matrix. What if we're a Matrix that's about to go in a Matrix within a Matrix?
Yeah.
It's just like Inception.
Yeah, what if it is like that? That's crazy to
That's
think
some crazy
about.
shit. That's some crazy. That's why sometimes I think that's what heaven is, or afterlife, or whatever you believe in. Because your brain is powerful enough, right? If you go in a dream and you can live a lifetime in a dream within a short period of time, imagine like moments as you're dying. If you die a natural way, like if you're just in a hospital bed and you die, but before you die, you go into a coma state, and within that coma state, you live like 3, 4, 5 different life spans in that short period of time, and then you die, and then it's over. That's the theory. That's a theory that I had, that what people perceive heaven to be. Because you ever hear some corny shit about people like, I died and I went to heaven and I met my grandpa again and I saw my thing and my Nino and they wake up and like, I saw heaven and it was real. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
like,
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it. I feel like when you died and before you died for a little bit and you were revived and you went in a coma state or whatever, you lived like a dream life, like an infinite. Because there's certain dreams that feel so real. Like, have you ever had a dream that felt so lucid and so real?
Not anymore.
Like, it's been a minute, but there's a reason why. Like, a lot of us don't.
Too much weed.
We smoke too much and we drink too. Like, there's certain things that you can't do before you go to bed, and they won't let you go into a deep state. But I've had dreams. I remember when I think I just didn't have any money. I was broke and I couldn't smoke weed for like a couple of weeks. And when those couple of weeks, I started having these really crazy vivid dreams, and I was like, whoa, these things feel super real. I haven't had a dream like this. I can't remember the last time I had a dream like this. But when you have it, right, it's just like
you remember it, yeah.
Yeah, you remember it. Like, and maybe when you die or before you die and you go into that coma state or whatever like that, you just live infinite lives, like Inception. Like, how they're on a bridge, and they go in a car that's on a bridge that goes off, but they all go into sleep state, and within that sleep state, with that time as the car's falling, in there they're moving at such a fast rate that it seems like they're really going in slow motion, but they're going so fast while something else is happening fast as fuck too, but it's going, it's like levels to that shit.
The way that time is perceived is just different.
It's different. Like in Interstellar is another movie where they go, I don't know if you've seen Interstellar, but spoiler alert, they go to this planet and fucking that planet's time is different from outer space. In outer space, like, it's normal, but when they go into this planet, the atmosphere in that planet itself makes like a minute is actually like a couple of days, a couple of minutes could be a couple of months, like a month could be a couple of years. Like, wow, shit like that. Time moves differently in certain environments. So that's one crazy like possibility, is when you die and you just go into your dream state. It's like an accelerated time. So you know how they keep going within a dream, and it's just like each time they go in a dream, they're outside. Yeah. They're going faster. They're living at a higher rate of speed, and within a dream, so they could have they could live a lifetime in a dream.
While 5 seconds goes on.
While 5 seconds, 5 minutes goes on, and like they're outside of that reality.
Yeah.
So it's wild as fuck. So maybe I think that's what a lot of motherfuckers that die. I went, or I saw hell. I died and I went to hell. I gotta get my life together. Like, it's really just your mind concocted that for you. Like, maybe your mind, because you believed in it so much that when you died, or before you died, your mind made you like, oh, I'm just saying you were here because it's what you think about. Because you ever thought about a certain thing? Because it doesn't always happen. But you ever, like, when you could dream, and you would have it, like, you know, you would think about certain things, and then right before you went to bed, when you went to bed and you had a dream, you dreamed about the shit you was literally thinking about before you went to bed. But it doesn't always happen. Sometimes you think about certain things, you go to bed, and it doesn't happen. You don't even have a dream. So if you really believe in like certain things like afterlife, or religion, or heaven or hell, if you really feel like in your heart that you might go this way, so maybe right before you die, you go into your coma state, you live that reality that you really believe in that deeply. So
yeah,
that's the whole like because maybe there really just isn't nothing when you die. Maybe you just get this life and that's it. We were just lucky randomly,
and you got to experience it, and that was it. You don't remember. You just don't feel it.
It's like being randomly selected at the airport.
That's what it is, man.
It's just like that might be it. And I don't want to believe it. Like, I don't want to believe that's what it is. I want to believe that there is something.
Like, I want something better.
I want something better, yeah, for certain reasons. For like loved ones, or maybe just for the fact they exist. I want to believe that we're meant to be something greater than what we are after we die. But maybe we really just are what we are, and that's it. That's all we'll get to experience. Like, here you go. That's what you get. Because do animals, like, well, that's another thing that goes back to animals and other living species. Do other species of living organisms have religions and things like that? Do they believe in afterlives? Like, nah, some of them are just super primitive.
Yeah, because like I think of an ant. Like, does an ant really understand time and perspective like we do? Like, does it get what goes on?
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure, like, again, to an ant, we're like a giant alien. They don't even expect it. They never probably. There's some ants that have never seen us.
Right.
Never known what a human looks like.
That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to think about. It's a possibility, man. But
Irvin, we've been here for like an hour.
I know.
Anywhere. That was a good podcast. Do you want to give a plug out? Where could they find you?
Shit, the same spot, man. soyswervin_91 on Instagram, or Instagram.
And then his Snapchat is?
Snapchat. You can find, if you go on my Instagram, I think I have like a screenshot of my Instagram tag thingy. So if you just go to my Instagram, you can probably find my Snapchat.
It's called QR code.
QR code, yeah, the QR code.
Just kidding. Fuck yeah, man. That was a good podcast. Again, thank you for joining, everybody. If you're not following, you should be. We'll be doing this more. Go out and be respectful.
It's opening again.
Yeah, you don't have to protest and destroy stuff. You can actually just write an angry letter. You can donate to a good cause. Go to a restaurant. Make the economy better again. That's what we need to do. Thank you for watching, guys. You guys are awesome. If you're not following, follow. Make sure to subscribe. YouTube, anything, social media, MuseMe TV.
Are the strip clubs open up again?
No, it even says on there it's like closed.
Still, damn.
We're still closed. Thank you, guys. You guys are awesome.